Hi guys, Celai here. I'm back with another Lounging with Celai. Here I have my dad, of course, because he's been here every single time. Probably just getting a new guest at some point.
And kicking me to the curb. That's just wrong. That is wrong.
Okay. Anyway, so let's get serious. Okay, so as you guys know, all of this. No, how do I explain this? No, can you help me?
It's a serious situation going on
basically,
in this country.
Yes, there's a serious situation going on in this country, and I specifically did not really understand what was going on because I knew that George Floyd, died. I knew how he died, but I just didn't watch the video to see how everybody felt about it and how the people that were recording felt about it. So, a couple minutes ago before we started recording, I watched the video, and I just was really mad. I don't know how he got into that situation. I don't know how he got on the floor. What was he doing before that? But just in that moment, I was, not the happiest person alive right now. Because, I bet a lot of people are the happiest person alive right now. Anyway, and I just, felt bad. And just, I don't know, how do I explain it? I have a hard time explaining things.
So he was trying to give them a fraudulent check.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I guess the cops were called and he went to his car. I guess the cops came and they started arresting him.
Right.
So a person was taking the video. They said that he resisted arrest. And you've seen the footage. He didn't resist arrest. They put him in the police car, and somehow they took him out of the police car, and that's when they took him to the ground, and that's when the person put his knee on his neck.
Yes. And I personally don't understand because I remember one of the cops was saying to get in the car, but I was like, how can he get in the car if one person's on their neck and one person's on the back? It's not like he can just get up unless they're gonna because if he did, they're probably gonna shoot him. They're just gonna assume that he's trying to run away. So why would they say that if they know he can't go anywhere?
Right. It was very confusing. I mean, imagine placing yourself, or even having myself being in that position. They're arresting me for something I didn't do. It's like, hey, this is a real check I'm giving to you. I'm trying to cash. You didn't cash it, so let me go. What's the issue?
Right.
So I'm not resisting arrest. You just need to tell me what's going on.
Right.
And there's that confusion where I'm sure the police officer who put his knee on his neck didn't like his response, and that led up to what took place, where they got him out of the car and he put his knee on his neck. He was saying, I couldn't breathe. He was calling for his mom. And that's the problem. Right. You can't put your knee on someone's neck. They are police officers. And that's what's very hard to understand for anyone. And that's why all these riots are going on, these things are taking place, because people are upset.
Right.
The police are there to protect us. And is that their way of protecting us?
Definitely not.
Now, what if I was that person on that ground, putting their knee on my neck, or putting their knee on my neck?
If I, had the strength to do it, I would beat him up.
You would. You couldn't.
I know I couldn't, but I would if I could. But I can't. But I just wouldn't tolerate. I want to say something about it, like everybody else are. And if violence is the way that they're trying to get people to get heard, then go ahead. Just do what you have to do to just get heard by somebody, anybody.
Yeah, it's a very traumatic situation. I've been upset all week long, been trying not to watch the news.
I mean,
nothing.
On every day, but it's okay.
Even on Thursday, Friday night, I stayed home and worked from home on Friday, but Thursday night I didn't want to watch anything at all as far as the news. I watched a little bit, but Friday I really started watching more of it because I was getting more upset. So okay, let me just get this out of my system. Maybe watch the news and see what's going on, and I got more frustrated. Right. So I had to start watching different movies just to get it out of my system. And your mom kept on talking about it, Charlene. They kept on talking about it, and it just got me more frustrated. So if I was younger, I knew I'd be out there.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'd be looting or anything, but I don't know, I'd be upset. That's why you see a lot of young people out there now, black kids, black women, children, all the above, out there, they're angry.
Right.
And that's a way of releasing their frustration because there's nothing else they can do.
Right.
They're not going to go out there and start shooting, of course, but they are taking their frustration out the best way they know right now, which is looting and damaging things and doing things they normally would not do, but they're so frustrated, which I understand their frustration because I know I'd be out there being frustrated too, trying to release my anger on something, on someone, but the whole point is we know we can't do that. It's not going to resolve it, but it can.
Right.
It will get the attention to let them know that we have to get your attention first. And that's the most important thing. Getting your attention may not be the right thing to do. But as your mom has told me and other people have told me as well, you know, Americans, the US, when they go invade other countries, what do? They start bombing, they start killing, they start doing a lot of things to take control of those countries and things that they're trying to take over, which is the land, the oil, whatever it may be. And that's where they can't say that we can't do what we're doing because that's what the US does all the time.
Right.
So here we are, we've been just kicked down over and over and over and over by racism for as long as we've been here.
Right.
And it hasn't stopped. It's gotten a little better to where we are not even with them, but still we're not treated the way white people are treated.
Right.
We will never get there if they don't allow us. They're going to always try to get up here, no matter what. And that's where we don't like that because that's just not right. We were brought up here by white people.
Right.
We were forced here.
Right.
So now you're just going to enslave us even more. Our ancestors fought in the civil rights, 60s.
Yes.
There was a lot of rioting, a lot of things going on. A lot of police were, you know, using a big fire hose, hosing people. Imagine getting sprayed by a big fire hose that puts out fires from a fire engine.
Yeah, probably like a lot of, not impact, but like.
Oh yes, a lot of impact. You can't do nothing. That water is going to move you.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt as well. They had dogs biting people constantly. Police beating people up. And to me, this gives a lot of people who are bad officers out there, not all of them are bad, not all of them are racist, but the ones who are out there who enjoy this type of chaos in the streets, they are eating at a dinner table right now. They're enjoying this. I seen a video yesterday where one, I couldn't tell whatever race he was, he looked Caucasian to me, but he was in his riot gear, he's a police officer, he was like, smile, come on, I'm ready. He was like this, I'm ready. It's like, okay. He's waiting, he's enjoying this. And that's where we're giving them the table to feed on. That's what I don't like. But I understand we have to let them know and get their attention. It's very, very important we get their attention. We are getting their attention now. And that's what we had to do back in the 60s during the Civil Rights Acts and everything that we did back then to get their attention. We have to get their attention. I hate to say, I don't hate to say, I know it's what needs to be done. A lot of people who are older right now, the older generation, beyond my generation, they don't probably agree with this. But what else are we going to do?
Yeah, that's probably the only way to solve the problem.
Is to get their attention. That's what.
Attention.
You know what? That's what they taught us to do.
Right.
That's what they taught us to do. To get their attention. How are we going to get their attention? By doing things that will get to their attention. By destroying things, doing things that affects them, not just us, not just our stores and the places that we go. They went to Hollywood. I say we. I do say we, and I mean that. We went to Hollywood in LA or the Beverly Hills and got their attention. Like, okay, I know that people of who are white, who like to shop in those places, I'm sure that got their attention quickly. Right. Like, wait a second, now they're going up there like, oh my God, this is real. This is real. We got to do something. We got to get them out of there. Like, no, they're going to be back. They're going to be back.
Right.
It's just a sad situation. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm not trying to hold on to it. That's why I'm reading the Bible, praying, studying, doing everything I can to counteract that, because we all should counteract that, not just see that negative stuff going on, but it's positive at the same time.
Right.
Where you see a lot of people that are out there, they're not black. That's what really surprises me.
Right.
Not a lot of people out there are black. And how do you feel about that as far as the people who are out there who aren't black and who are causing more damage to black people?
I don't. How do I feel about it?
What? I can just edit it out if I don't want you to say it. Like, just say it.
I remember my mom said that the white people, are the ones that are causing the main damage, and then they want to come back and blame it on the black people.
Yes.
And I personally, just in general, I don't feel like that should be happening. And you know, some white people aren't like that. They actually support this cause and are very mad about this and just want to, you know, or help, like Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Like, I know there's people there, but you know, I just feel like there's not enough.
I agree. And I gotta rewind myself, because I feel like I'm on camera and playing a certain role. I'm going to be real. I'm not going to hold anything back. That's what is God is telling me. Don't hold nothing back. Just speak. One thing I had in my notes here: the young Caucasian male, the white guy who was young, who killed the people in the church. He killed. That was in 2015 in Charleston. Yeah. So he went into that church. They were in prayer, I believe, having Bible study. He went in there nice and calm. And they welcomed him in, of course, as they should. Any church should welcome anyone in, right, no matter what color they are. So this person that sat down, I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't deserve his name to be mentioned, killed, I believe, 13 people. The youngest was 26, older people in there as well. So he killed these people. While he was killing them, shooting them, he basically said how he felt about black people, right, which was a lot of racist things as he was killing them. So they found him like 11 hours later. They picked him up on a routine traffic stop, I believe, or somehow they found him and they picked him up when he was traveling in a vehicle.
No, it's like, did they take him Burger King? I think.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. So when they arrested him, they didn't have any problems. They said he didn't resist. So if he was black, exactly like what? If he was black,
they would have just.
But they probably would have shot him.
Yeah,
they would have found some reason. If a black man went into a white church and started shooting white people and killed several of them, they would have went out and found him and shot him.
Yeah.
So he resisted arrest. They would have found a reason to shoot him.
Right. So
with this individual that committed a crime in a black church, he didn't resist. Right. They didn't do anything to him. He was handcuffed, I believe, against the car and gave him some water. He was in a bulletproof vest. Then they took him to Burger King. So to me, that's like, good job, man. We appreciate what you did. Great job. I wanted to do that, or something they would say to him to encourage him to say thank you. That's basically what that was saying. Right. I thank you for what you were doing. That is just glorifying what he did to the extreme, where it's just thrown in our faces as black men and women.
Yeah. I don't know how I knew that. I think I saw it somewhere not too long ago. I just don't know where. But I just saw it. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I really don't understand. What did we do to them? Like,
we didn't do anything. People who enslave people, or I wouldn't say enslave, but people who try to keep a race down, they're scared of them. There's something being scared. That's like someone being a bully. Right. There's something going on with that person who's a bully that makes them want to demoralize someone, to put them down here, to make them feel inferior, to make them feel better. Yeah. So there's something going on there. So they're trying to keep us down because they know we can take over at any point. They didn't tell us our history correctly. When I was in Kansas going to school, I've always thought when I was going to school, like, this history, I don't see any black people. There's nothing mentioned about black people except for being slaves. Exactly, except for being slaves. That was it. I'm thinking like, no, this is not right. And that's why I was always upset at school, because when we had history, there was always some little snide remark that someone would make. I remember this one girl was reading in, I think 6th or 7th grade. We were talking about slavery, and actually we were talking about Africa, and she said, "nigger."
Oh, no.
Instead of what she should have said was Nigeria.
Oh.
I'm thinking like, oh my God, my heart dropped. My heart literally dropped like, oh my God. I was already nervous because we were dealing with history on black people. And I knew I was in a racist town and I was dealing with racism every day. There's a lot of stories my family doesn't even know that I've been through. Here in California and also back in Kansas when I was young, I dealt with racism every day. So it's really sad to say, but all black people have dealt with racism, who are older at least.
Right.
You haven't dealt with that really, have you?
No.
What have you, or have you?
I don't know.
I would say the stuff that she's dealt with is kind of like that microaggression, the
I feel
not
like-
so bold in your face, but absolutely the way you were treated on set with the texture of your hair. Absolutely, that's a microaggression.
But I feel like it was more like a school thing. It's not like they're like being like racist or anything.
I'm talking about when you were on set.
I know, I'm just saying in school.
In school, what?
In school.
What about school?
No, I'm just saying. I remember somebody, I don't remember what grade it was. They said that I don't know, something like poop. I don't know. I didn't really pay too much attention about it. I just laughed it off and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
They say you look like poop or something, or your color or something. Were they, what nationality were they? Don't remember. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wow.
Yeah. But it's more of just like, probably like jealous.
Yeah,
More
that's
kind of
what it's,
thing.
and that's to me, those things fall on the same line. I mean, not as far as racism, but it's still someone making you feel like you are not worthy.
Right.
And that's what racism does, as far as making you feel like you're not human. And that's where, since history, since we've been enslaved, back then, they made us feel like dogs, less than dogs.
Right.
If that officer had his knee on a dog, how do you think people would have reacted?
The same? I mean, no. The same that they would. Wait.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The same.
They would have reacted, but
Wait.
well, you have the statistic right here. If this is true, I can't confirm or deny that it's not, but it says Michael Vick served more time in jail for killing dogs than all cops combined who have killed the last 493 unarmed black men and women.
493.
And I put the officer that are killing the black people aren't arrested as soon as possible. When the video, the video clearly shows there's something wrong here. Something's not adding up. And there's always a delay. And even with this last arrest, they said he was arrested in 4 days. They said this is the record of an officer being arrested. It's like, a record? 4 days? He should have been arrested on the spot, right after. Like, wait a second, we need to investigate this. This shouldn't take 4 days. If that was a black man with a black man's knee on a white guy's neck, they would have got him.
Yeah.
Right then and there. They would not have let him go home. He's not going home. He's staying right there. He's going to jail. Give him your badge, give him your gun.
Right.
They wouldn't even give him a chance. They'd probably just tackle him and beat him down, most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Vick, I read that and I said, oh my gosh, that's just sad. So sad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Celai.
Yeah.
So in 1992, Rodney King, he was the person who was beat up by the cops in LA. That's like almost 20 plus years ago. 30, okay.
No.
So on the video, why have you watched that after? He was taken out the car, just beat over and over with billy clubs by the cops, over and over, consistently. And there was riots in LA, I'm sure in other places as well. And he just was taking the punishment consistently. And it was, that happened for 6 days. And I need you to see that video because that's really bad. And those riots, people were looting, burning buildings like they are now. And it got their attention.
Right.
But nothing really changed to a degree. And that's where we're trying to make a change now with everything that's going on. So the Black Lives Matter movement is critical to be out there in the limelight to let people know our lives matter. Our lives have to matter. All lives matter, but until Black lives matter, not all of them matter. Exactly. So we need to be able to walk down the street and not be targeted. Exactly. If I have my hoodie on and have my hands in my pocket, they're gonna pull me. They're gonna stop me. What are you doing? What's going on? What's up? You fit a description of somebody.
Right.
Okay. What about that guy, my white friend here? Why are you asking me? He has the same type of hoodie on as well.
Right.
Why are you targeting me? We're together. Okay. So that's a prime example, at least for me. Black lives matter because we are being targeted.
Right.
Consistently, every day, all the time. Now I laugh because it's just so pitiful. Where when I was younger, harassed by the police all the time. I had dreadlocks. Yes, I did have dreadlocks down to here. I was targeted all the time. It didn't bother me after I got used to it. It's like, I'm not doing nothing wrong. But sometimes I was. And they didn't do anything, which, thank God for that. But my whole point is, Black lives matter. All lives matter. But right now, our lives are very, very important because we're being targeted. We're dying out in the streets. It's being videoed. It's being shown. And it's still a slow process or no process at all for us to get the law behind us to take care of what took place when we are killed.
Right.
There should be no delay at all. We know all lives matter, but what about us? What about us?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you right now because we're being targeted.
Right.
Your white kids aren't being targeted right now. My son's being targeted. He's black, of course, in Washington, D.C. Other friends and family members, their kids, they're black. The last time I got pulled over was taking Deja to the school down the street in elementary. And I was nervous. I hadn't been pulled over for years, probably 10 plus years. I was nervous. And he asked me whose car is this, blah, blah, asked all those questions. Deja's in the car. And he asked me a question and I gave him the wrong name. Not the wrong name, but I gave him a different name of who the car belonged to, who was part owner of the car. And Deja noticed that. She looked at me like she was scared. But the police officer that pulled me over said, I recognize you from somewhere. I recognize you from somewhere. I'm thinking like, okay, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Mm-hmm. My best answer was like, no, I don't know you. Because I don't know where he might have thought he knew me from. Right. Was it some place where it was a bad place? Was it a place where I had, wearing a suit or something? Was it city council? I don't know.
Right.
So I just said, no, I don't know you. I don't know you. I just left it alone. He gave me a ticket, which was fine. Just let me go. But I was nervous. A grown man being that nervous, you know why? Because I was scared. I was scared for myself. I was scared for Deja as well. Even though I was stopped by a school, it didn't matter.
Right.
Because that's the impression that black people have of police officers, whether they're good or bad. We think that they're racist, no matter who they are, initially, until they prove themselves. They have to prove themselves to us as black people when they approach us.